Alright, boys, we are back, and it's time to continue our Tampa Bay GM mode commentary. Alright, and we're going into the season where we're basically blowing up our dynasty. Players like Dustin Brown, Shattenkirk, Beaulieu, who the Tampa Bay media really didn't understand why Beaulieu and Shattenkirk had to go. They're all gone already, so the dynasty of the Tampa Bay Lightning is definitely going to be looking different come next year. But same thing, our number one goal right now is to sign Ekman Larsson, because I did not want to let this guy walk away, because his trade value was way too high. We could get, I could go back and trade and get Shattenkirk and Beaulieu back and get more back along with the trade if I package it in a deal with Ekman Larsson. I didn't want to let Ekman Larsson go. His trade value was way too high, and I needed to free up the salary cap space with Beaulieu and Shattenkirk. That gave us an extra $7 million, so now we can go after Ekman Larsson, and I think that's our only unrestricted free agent. So anyone else who we want to sign that we can't sign, yes, he is. We can tender qualifying offer. Once we trade away Ekman Larsson in free agency, then we re-sign them, all right? So that was why I had to get rid of Beaulieu and Shattenkirk. Needed to free up some space. But we were able to hold on to Bernie Mac, so we have, again, a 1-2 punch in the net next year, once again, which is great for us, all right? Subban definitely proved that he's going to get the same shot as Bernie Mac, but Bernie Mac is still a great goalie out there if we need him to win some games here or there, all right? So that's why I wanted to hold on to our goaltenders. Now, defensively, Ekman Larsson, we got to sign this guy. We have $15 million to work with. Let's get this out of the way. This was our goal. So he wants 5 years. I'll give him his the length that he wants so that I can make it the cheapest amount of salary possible. I think I can maybe go, I think I can get 10.5. I'll try to get like 10.25. If that doesn't work, I'll jump back up to 10.5, right? So I'll go with 10.25 for Ekman Larsson. All right, now everyone else, Subban, maybe I'll be able to sign him, but maybe not. So I got a tender qualifying offer. Bowen, I definitely want to sign him, but it's going to be after we trade away Ekman Larsson. All right, Hacken, same thing. I'll check out his stats after. Pody, he's a guy as well. I'll check his stats out after. Kalous, all right, so this is what I mean. We have all these young prospects who are ready to come up. Might as well start playing them. All right, and we have enough young guys who can replace. Oh, excuse me, Jesus, who can replace Beaulieu and Shattenkirk. All right, we have plenty of young guys, and we're going to get an amazing defenseman back for the trade with Ekman Larsson. Right wingers Nielsen and Iliuk. Let's send these guys qualifying. Actually, Iliuk, I think we can give a two-way contract to. He's 77 overall. Yeah, we can. I think that's the cutoff. When they're 77 or worse for overall, you can give them two ways, and if they're 78 or higher, they want one ways. I think that's the case. Now, Len Little, we want to sign this guy long term. 4 years at $5 million. All right, so we have $15 million to work with. We can afford to give him a contract as long as Ekman Larsson only wants like 10. So that's good. So let's try to get him to 8 years. Len Little, 8 years at 4.5. All right. If he doesn't want that, I'll drop it back down to 4 years, because he's young enough that you don't want to sign him long term. You want to get him to his like mid-20s so that you can sign him long term from there. Nick Ritchie, we're definitely going to want to re-sign, but I'll have to wait on him. Same thing with Piero Zobatel, I'll have to wait on him. Rack, we're going to have to wait on you. Howard Heatley, okay, so our number one overall draft pick. Let's see this guy. Actually, yeah, look at he's a sniper, and his offensive potential is only B-. Now, that could get better, and even if it does stay there, he's only, how old? 19. If that stays at a B- till he's 25, he will get up into the higher 80s, and he'll be a good defensive and fast sniper. Maybe not have the greatest offensive category, but it's already in the lower 80s pretty much, his shot. So his shot can definitely get to the higher 80s by the time he's like 25, 26, and then he'll have a good 8 years in him. So he definitely is a number one overall draft pick. He's not like a franchise player, but he definitely is a good player for the future. So he was a good draft pick, all right? So we'll sign him. There you go, Howard Heatley. Boom, baby. Bjork, we'll sign this guy as well. B- potential, why not? There you go. All right, so that's all the left wingers. Yep. Centers, Lavoie, we don't need this guy. I think he's probably just came in a trade. Germain, we want to re-sign this Germain guy, I'm pretty sure. Power forward. All right, so this doesn't have the greatest offensive potential, but could turn into another Nick Ritchie for us. All right, hell yeah, 4th overall pick as well. Sign this guy right now. There you go. There you go. Thank you very much, Germain. All right, so let's see who signed. I'll simulate a day. Go for a drink of my tea. Hang on a second here. Ah, yeah. All right, so Ekman Larson, he did not want to come back to our franchise. Your offer was not enough. All right, so I got to offer him, I'll give him that 10.5. Len Little, he didn't like the contract length. Okay, so we got to re-sign those guys again. So all skaters, I know which ones it is. Ekman Larson. All right, so I offered him 10.25 before. Let's not mess around. Because 10.5 is already $1.5 million less than what he's asking for. So we'll go 10.5, and if that doesn't work, we'll go 10.75, and I'm pretty sure that should work. We're giving him the years that he wants, right? So 10.5 for 5 years for Ekman Larson. And Len Little. Now, he didn't want 8 years. I don't want to give him 6 years because that'll take him till he's 28. We'll give him 4 years, which is still 2 years after I leave the Tampa Bay Lightning franchise. All right, so it's still enough that the next GM can come in and decide what he wants to do, but it's long enough that we can go on a little run now with Len Little under contract. So 4 years of 4.5 mil. There you go, Len Little. All right, let's simulate the next day and see what happens. Let's see what happens. Ekman Larson. All right, so Ekman Larson signed for 10.5 mil. All right, so once we trade him away, that's another like 2 or 3 players from this list of restricted free agents that we have who will be able to sign. And Len Little's back in our team for another 4 years at 4.5 mil. All right, so we still have all these restricted free agents to sign. A few of them I want on my team. A few of them we don't need on our team. But I'll be able to sign a good 2 or 3 of them once we get rid of Ekman Larson. All right. Now Nick Ritchie. How much did Nick Ritchie want again? Nick Ritchie only wants 1.9 at 2 years. At 2 years at 2 mil. I have the salary. Does he only want 2 years? I would want him to sign for like 6 years at that much. Get him long term while he's this low overall. Let me just make sure I have everyone signed because I'm going to be simulating a few days here. I don't want to go into free agency and let anyone walk. Yeah, I have everyone signed, so we're okay. Let's see if we can get Nick Ritchie. No, he decided to reject a contract. Okay, if I can get him to 3 years, I'll get him to 3 years. If not, then I'll just go 1 year. I don't want anyone to be on a 2-year contract right now, because that's when I go. Ritchie. If I can get him 3 years, I'll give him 3 years. If not, 1 year. So 3 years at 1.8. Nick Ritchie, I think that's pretty good for you. All right, even though you prove that you can be on the first line for us. All right, yeah, he wants 2 years. Nick Ritchie. All right, so I'll give you 1 year. So I can re-sign, maybe try to sign him long-term next year at 1.8. All right, there you go, Nick Ritchie. Will you accept that? No, he wants 2 years. All right, we'll wait until the free agency to sign these guys. Yeah, I'll just wait for all of them. I don't want to give anyone a 2-year deal because that's a deal. It's not horrible for the next GM who comes in after me, but it's just for the way that I rate myself after we're done kind of thing. I like to set it up nicely for the next GM to come in and just have pieces to the puzzle and move, and not have to be hamstringed by any contracts that are coming up that year. All right, so we did the re-sign stage, and now we're into free agency. All right, so let's quickly check free agency to see if there's any studs out there. Unrestricted free agents, all skaters. Matt Molson, 87 at 35 years old, nothing special. Same thing with Hemsky, Palmanville. So there's some older guys who are proven, but there's no studs. Yeah, there's no studs out there. No. They're all older guys who are definitely getting worse. Goaltenders, Lundqvist, but he's 37 years old, and we're actually perfectly fine for goalie, so we don't need any goalie, all right? So let's make that trade. Let's do that one trade right now, the one off-season trade. We're going for one defenseman for Ekman Larson, all right? And then we have all of our restricted free agents that we can re-sign to fill out the rest of our roster. All right, so Ekman Larson. I could go for 2 defensemen, but even if I only get one, I have a guy like Jordan Subban who can come up, or Bisson who can come up and replace him, all right? So all we need is one, but if we can get 2, we'll get 2. All right, so Ekman Larson. So the 2 teams I wanted to go for were Colorado and Florida. Now, Colorado, the only thing is I want to free up a lot of cap space so that I can sign the restricted free agent. So I want to go after 1 or 2 defensemen that are no more than 5 or 6 million, both of them, all right? Now, Colorado, they have basically no salary cap space. So watch, if I put a defenseman up, where was that young guy? Zaprikin, right? Yeah, and he's 2.8 mil. They're way under the salary cap limit, or way over it. Sorry, 6.9. So I got to find a team with who can accept Ekman Larson straight up and have a good defenseman. So Colorado, they actually don't fit, and Florida, 7 mil for them. They don't actually fit that much either. Now, if I go Ekblad, I'm going to have to get another guy who's 3 mil. All right, so hang on a sec. It's the thing, if I get another guy who's 3 mil, then I'm not freeing up a lot of space for the other guys so that I could sign them. That's the problem, right? I mean, I know I could get this LeMay guy or this Hatcher. No, not even Hatcher. I could get Goodbranson, and there's like our 6th defenseman right there. But then I only have 2.3 to sign guys like Nick Ritchie, Piero Zobatel, guys like that, right? That's why I wanted to only get 1 defenseman or 2 defensemen who are really cheap. So yeah, Florida's not going to work either, it looks like.